Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe and also follow me on Instagram. I post tons of healthy inspiration, lots of food photos and things like that. So the first recipe we are making is an acai smoothie bowl because they can be very expensive if you go out for them. I know around me they're like $12 to $15 just for one little bowl. So I'm going to show you guys how to make it for cheaper at home. So I'm using one frozen banana, really important that it's frozen banana, as well as half a cup of frozen berries. You can use raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, or any kind of berry. And the key is the acai powder as opposed to the frozen acai packs. That's because acai powder is a lot cheaper and you'll get a lot of use out of it compared, like for your dollars, compared to the frozen packets. And then I'm putting in 1/4 cup of almond milk, and it's important to keep the liquids to a minimum so that you get this nice thick and creamy acai bowl and it's not like too thin and then all your toppings will just sink into it. So blend that up until you get a nice thick color. The more banana you use, the lighter the acai color will be. So if you want one of those darker ones, just use less banana and more darker colored berries like raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, and all that. And then I'm just topping it with some banana and some strawberry. And the price breakdown for each ingredient will be in the description box in case you guys want to see and how I priced everything out and things like that. And then I'm also putting on some hemp hearts. These are great. They got omega-3s and healthy fats, as well as a spoonful of peanut butter. It just tastes amazing and it also has great healthy fats. So I made this whole bowl with all the ingredients and the toppings for $2.49, which is really affordable. Oh, and I added in a 1/4 cup of granola as well, but it's a super affordable way to make acai bowls at home. Next up, we're making this roasted cauliflower salad. This is so yummy and rich and creamy. It reminds me of a lot of those salads you can get at Whole Foods or those like really fancy like salad places. So I'm using some cauliflower and I'm going to be cutting that up into larger chunks. And then I'm going to be putting that onto a greased baking sheet and I'm going to bake that at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. But I'm going to also salt it with some salt, obviously, and a little drizzle of olive oil. And I assume in these recipes you have things like salt and olive oil, so I don't include that in the price. And also using some chickpeas to add to the salad, and again a drizzle of olive oil and a little sprinkling of paprika to give them a bit of flavor. And then while those are in the oven roasting, I am going to be cutting up some kale, and I am roasting it, I don't know if I said that, but 350 for like 30 minutes. And I'm going to chop up some kale while that's in there and use some lemon, which will help break down the kale and make it not as bitter. And I like using kale in this recipe because it has a lot more nutrients and it's a lot more nutrient dense than lighter colored leaves. But if you prefer, I think the next best thing would be spinach. Spinach also has a high nutrient content. Basically anything other than iceberg will work really well and give you a lot of nutrients. And then once everything's done, I'm just putting that on the top of my bowl. And then I'm also going to be making a dressing, and I will link the recipe down below, but you guys have seen me make this dressing a lot before, so I didn't show it. And I'm going to drizzle that over the top, and it's like a lemon tahini dressing. It's really yummy, and I did include that in the price of this dish as well, so it's all included. And that came out to $2.98, so just under the $3 mark. But I love the protein in this. You got healthy fats, you got lots of nutrients like kale, and it's a good thing to meal prep because kale doesn't wilt as fast as other greens. And lastly, I thought I would show you another one of my potato boat creations because sweet potatoes can be a really great cheap alternative. So I'm going to be roasting that for 50 minutes at 400 degrees. I'm just wrapping it in some tin foil. While that is cooking, or near when that's done, I'm going to be cutting up an avocado for some great healthy fats. And I just love, I know I did another sweet potato boat recipe in my last cheap recipes, but I just love using a sweet potato and then changing up the toppings and the fillings because it's a really, really inexpensive way to get in some good, healthy, complex carbs. And then I'm going to be also frying up an egg for some added protein into this as well. Once your potato is done, just push it with a fork to make sure it's soft all the way through. And you cut that down the middle and put it onto a plate. And then I'm using a fork to kind of mash down the sides a little bit so that it's a little bit easier to eat. You don't have to do this, but it makes it a lot easier to eat if you just mash it up a bit. And then I'm layering it with some of the avocado. So I'm only using half of an avocado just for the price point. And then I'm putting 1 egg. An egg is also a great thing to use because it actually has all the essential amino acids in it, and it's one of the only protein sources that does it. And they're fairly inexpensive compared to like organic chicken. And guys, look at that yolk. This is so good. I love having this. I also usually add turkey bacon, but I forgot to add it in, but I put it into the price down below. So I used 2 strips normally of turkey bacon. It tastes so good, and it's kind of like breakfast. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want more like this, don't forget to leave me know in the comments